TopSpotUSA.com. Yo, what's going on? It's Famous with TopSpotUSA.com. Another episode of TSUSA Radio, and joining me today on the show is Lights. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. Just hanging out in Milwaukee, enjoying this phone conversation.
Nice.
Already.
Well, last time we talked, it was in West Palm Beach at Warped Tour, totally monsooning out. And
oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was insane. But since then, the listening has run its course, and now you are on to Siberia. What's this one all about?
Siberia is I think it's the most important record, your second one, because it's going to determine what you're establishing you're going to give your fans for the rest of your career. And it was a bit of a struggle to get to the place that I did with Siberia, but I'm so proud with where we ended up. It's different, and it's a push. It's really basically pop, but with a bit more of a gritty, sort of darker edge. And that's just a reflection of where I am taste-wise musically right now, you know. And it's harder than you think, but it's important to let your own music catch up to where you are in your life and your music. And I've changed a lot over the past couple of years. I mean, you know, everyone does grow, and you have different things you're listening to and everything, and basically this is just a reflection of that. There's like dubstep elements and some darker electro stuff going on. There's rap features, and it's such a record I'm so proud of.
What are you listening to? You know, what's in your iPod right now?
A mix of like Crystal Castles, Montauk, Boys Noise, Burial, Resto, Bon Iver. There's always a bit of that in there. Just basically things along those lines that have really creative, a bit darker electro elements happening, which really was exciting for me to listen to all of last year. It really took me away. And, you know, one of the big things that I loved about listening to this type of music, not that I wasn't listening to it before, it's just headed in a more specific avenue than it ever has. And I was reading this fantasy art book, not really reading, just looking. I was really inspired by this art book by an artist named Clyde Caldwell. He does like fantasy art for Masters of the Gathering, D&D, heavy metal magazine. So it's like kind of a dark, almost sexual fantasy art. And I remember listening to a lot of this playlist of a lot of my favorite songs entitled like "Yeah" or something. Did you ever do that?
Yeah.
The title thing's like really
like
"Yeah," I was like next to it. Yeah. And just reveling in how much it went hand in hand with this art and the music. So that is in itself, and like that combination of things, the visuals meets the music, really inspired the record. I ended up taking that art book in every day that I made the record, Siberia.
Do you ever make your own art while listening to music?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Most of the time when I'm drawing, I will draw to a soundtrack of some kind. I've been making paintings a lot lately, and that's usually just something a little bit more romantic, because the paintings are kind of like more Liechtenstein-esque, like romance paintings. But for example, like, it's important to have music influence the visuals with something like Everybody Breaks Glass, which is the first track I released, not officially, but like leaked out off the series called Everybody Breaks Glass. And I made a lyrics video for it. I illustrated it. It's kind of this film noir, like murder mystery kind of lyric video. And obviously every moment that I was drawing those visuals, I was listening to the track, because that infiltrates the art in some way, I think.
So your music and your success with platforms like YouTube and stuff like that have spawned many artists to now start taking production into their own hands. What kind of advice would you give to somebody that's coming up, whether it's instruments or approach?
Well, in music, hands down, the best advice you'll ever get, and the most important thing that you can found anything off is writing good songs. That's what this industry is founded upon. Like, if you don't have a good song, you're going to have a really hard time finding your niche, finding anything people can latch onto. So that's, when I started writing, I was 11, and I wrote hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs, and you have to be careful not to hold these songs too dear, because like anything, you have to trash them and move on to the next thing. So whether you're going to take things in your own hands and do things electro or do things acoustically, it's all founded on good songs. So make sure that you write those, and people will find you. I can guarantee that.
You mentioned you've been writing for a while. You've lived in a lot of different spots, and I always open up questions to fans. And we got a question from @HisLament, and he wants to know what it was like living in Jamaica.
Jamaica. I mean, I have great memories of it. I was pretty young. I did end up. I was like 5 or 6 when I lived there. We were only there for like 5 months, but it was it's a beautiful was absolutely stunning. We lived inland a little bit, near a little town called Brownstown, and we were pretty secluded. We were on like a missionary training camp kind of thing, but we'd go to the city and to the beach every now and then, and it's honestly one of the most stunning countries I've ever seen. I would love to go back just to kind of refresh my memory, because I remember it was stunning and the food was awesome, like Jamaican patties, the real deal, so good.
For sure, yeah. I stayed there. I stayed at the Sandals Beach Resort, and it wasn't the it wasn't the cultural experience that I wanted, because I felt like I was in a bubble. But we did climb Dunn's River Falls, which was kind of dope.
Oh wow, yeah. I think you'd have to travel up to those tourist areas to really get the sense of the country. And it's pretty dynamic, that place. There's literally, I remember driving past fields with people standing beside me with machine guns and asking my dad what it was all about. And it's basically fields of marijuana. Like, it's crazy. Just to be careful.
Wow, yeah. Don't
yeah.
Shot. Anyway. Well,
don't wander into that field for a pee.
You got it. Where could you live? If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you want to live?
I'm pretty stuck on Canada. I'll probably be there the rest of my life, but there are a couple other places I've considered. Like, I love the city of Chicago. That's something really special about it. We were actually there yesterday, and it was like the best pizza, the best popcorn, the best waterfront view. It's a really great vibe. It reminds me of Toronto in a lot of ways. That being said, I would also love just to live in Iceland for a little bit. I think it's just got something really special about it. I've never been there, but who knows? Maybe someday.
Sweet. Halloween, it's upon us right now, and I read a tweet that you went out and saw Paranormal Activity 3.
Yes.
Was it worth it?
Yes, it was better than the first two, I have to say. Like, the first two were a little slow, because obviously you're building up to these events, and it's all about the suspense, but this one, it's not only suspense, but like, there are events in it that are pretty chilling. It was really good. I would suggest it for sure.
Very cool. Now, you're probably in the middle of this Siberia Tour you're on right now. What's next? What's after it?
After Siberia Tour, there's more Siberia Tour.
Wow.
Basically, it's going to be touring for a long time. That's kind of the cycle, like record release, tour, make a record release, that kind of thing. But basically, it's like Christmas holidays, and then back out mid-January. Canada, places we haven't hit in the U.S. Like, we haven't hit Florida, Texas, Georgia this tour, so we're going to go there, hopefully February. And then hopefully overseas in March. I'm hoping to take this over to Australia as well. We actually released in Australia for the first time in a couple of days, so it's exciting times. It really is. It's going to be a lot of that.
When you come down to Florida, we're going to have to do a TSUSA TV episode. Get you
Let's do it.
Again. But thank you so much, Lights, for taking out the time with us. It's always a pleasure.
No problem. Thank you.
Hey, what's up? It's Famous from TopSpotUSA.com. And if you like that interview and want more just like it, head on over to the TSUSA Radio section of TopSpotUSA.com for all the TSUSA Radio features. But if you're like me and live to your phone, just go get our app. It's on both iPhone and Android platforms. You get all the TSUSA Radio interviews and weekly shows right at your fingertips before they're even out on the site. If you want to ask your favorite artist questions, just simply follow us on Twitter at TopSpotUSA for the cue to ask.
TopSpotUSA.com